What's up, you two? How's everyone doing this lovely day? This is your boy Reg in the building. This day I got my homeboy Troy with me,
Well,
and today we're going to talk about top 10 hip hop albums of 2005.
yes.
Yeah, pretty solid year for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? This was the year, G Unit was still going strong around this time. The South was popping. Yeah, the whole Snap, Crunk, all that shit, them franchise boys, all that fucking shit.
Yeah.
Jay Z was still retired, so let's get started with this list.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 10 is going to be a boot camp classic, in my opinion, is Sean Price with Monkey Bars.
Yes.
This album to me, a nice renaissance, for the whole boot camp clique, in my opinion. This whole album, it definitely had like a lot of heat to it and shit too. A lot of dope production. Cause like a couple of years, the boot camp clique was kind of going through like they weren't as consistent as they was like between like 93, like 97 and shit. It's like after that format people album like that, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But this album kind of brought them back. But my fucking camera's fucking up. Give me a second, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is why I hate technology. But yeah, definitely a very dope album and stuff like that too. I love songs like Heartburn, Bogus Rapper, is very dope and shit like that. Yeah, Sean Price definitely did his thing on this fucking project. Boom by Yeah was pretty dope too. Yeah, this album is very dope. Fucking underground classic, if you ask me.
Yes. Dope. I got number 10. I got Paul Wall, The People's Champ. One of
Mm.
my favorite Paul Wall albums. I am a Paul Wall fan. I like a lot of his stuff. And that year he blew up. He was on the late registration album with Kanye on Drive Slow, and that's also on this album. Sitting Sideways with Big Pokey. That was a big hit off of this album. We got Trill with BG and Bun B. Dope collab. State to State with Freeway. Another banger. Riding Dirty with Trey Songz. Definitely had like some big name features on here. Production was dope, and just bringing his southern twist to hip hop, and definitely enjoyed it. So,
Ooh, dope album, dope album. All right, my number 9. This is a hip hop album. I don't hear like a lot of people talk about. You know what I'm saying? But I personally like it. It's an underground album. It's Felt with Felt 2, a tribute to Lisa Bonet.
mm.
This came out in 2005. You heard about Felt, right?
I heard of Felt. I haven't heard the album though.
Got you. Okay. All right. The group consists of Slug and Murs. Slug being from Atmosphere, one of the most underrated hip hop groups and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, everyone knows who Murs is. A dope rapper. He was working at Hip Hop DX at one point. I
Like,
think he still is. I don't know. I don't know for sure and shit, but
wow.
yeah. So they dropped a couple of albums. They had the first 3 albums because like it was a story. Like the first album was a tribute to Christina Ricci, which I never heard that one. I only heard the one with Lisa Bonet.
Like,
And the third one in '09, it was like a tribute to Rosie Perez and stuff like that too.
wow.
So why they named it after actresses, I'm not 100% sure.
Is
You know
any of
what
the
I'm saying?
songs like referring to them or no?
Well, they have some like Lisa Never Easty on my next till, um, Monet, Cement Angels and stuff like that. Like I heard this album a while back ago and stuff like that too, and I loved it. It was very jazzy and
Right.
stuff like that. And produced this whole album. Has songs like Morris Day, which I like, Life Vegas, Woman Tonight. You know what I'm saying? This was a very, very, very dope album. All my underground fans definitely should know about this one. This is Felt with Lisa Bonet.
Oh, no. I gotta check that one out. I never, I forgot they did a group together too. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
Definitely gotta check that one out. Um, we got nine. Number nine for me is Black Alicious, The Craft, another West Coast underground hip hop group that doesn't get a lot of praise for whatever reason. Definitely enjoyed this
Mm,
album. This is their third album, and Chief XL, he did the production on this album, and they had some bangers on here. Your Move, that was one of my favorites. They have a joint with George Clinton called Lotus Flower, really funky. It had like a Parliament sound to it. Um, Automatic with Flow Tree, really enjoyed that one. That was really had like a neo soul feel to that one. Black Diamonds and Pearls with Lettuce Medici, that was
let
a
us see.
good one.
Yeah.
Let us see it. That was a good one. My Pen and Pad, definitely love the boom bap production on here. I forgot which one of them passed away. I know one of them passed away it was either this year or last year. Um, but definitely a dope album. I heard there's another album from Black. I think it's their second album I heard from them. It might have been Gift of Gab. Rest in peace, Gift of Gab. He passed away.
Yeah. Rest in
Um,
peace.
I want to say it was the Blazing Arrow album. That's the first one I heard from them. That was in '02, and that was a really good album. And the Nia album was good as well. But this definitely like a banger, and I definitely enjoyed it. I don't hear nobody discuss Black Alicious. I think we should definitely do something on them in the future, and this was dope.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not the biggest Black Alicious fan like that, but I've heard some shit over the years.
Yeah,
Um, my next album is the late great MF Doom. Partnering with Danger Mouse with the Mouse and the Mask. Very, very, very dope album. One of my all-time, excuse me, favorite Doom albums ever and whatnot. This came out 1 year after both Mad Villain and Food and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, this one was very dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Threw some shots at MF Grimm on a couple of songs. He like El Chupa Nimbre. You know what I'm saying? Which that was a very dope diss track. He started the album off with that. Old School. Crosshairs. You know, um, all my Adult Swim heads, y'all should definitely know about this fucking album because like a lot of the songs, the beats were played when Adult Swim was had them little captions, transition captions and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Back when Adult Swim was actually entertaining and shit like that. Now it's just like I don't really know what to call it, but yeah, that's my album right there. Danger in the Mouse and the Mask. Yeah, I can't hear you.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I should just delete all of that shit.
Yeah, yeah. I was already planning on doing that shit.
You went already?
Yeah, you didn't hear what I said, right?
Nah,
You didn't hear what I said.
nah.
Oh, I said my number eight was Danger Doom, The Mouse and the Mask.
Yeah, that part I heard, and then I just went blank.
Okay, so pretty much what I said was this is pretty much one of my favorite Doom albums. It came 1 year. became 1 year after the Mad Villain and the Food album.
Mm-hmm.
Got some dope joints like the MF Grimm diss track, El Chupanimber. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should already know the story between them two. And all my Adult Swim fans, y'all should know about this album because a lot of the samples they use, a lot of samples from Adult Swim and shit like that, and a lot of the beats were played in like the whole transitions and shit too. I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. The mask was dope. Basket case I loved and shit like that. Very very dope album. Very underrated and shit if you ask me.
Definitely. All right, number 8 for me is 50 Cent, The Massacre.
Mm.
Definitely enjoyed this album. He had a lot of bangers on here. A lot of I love the second edition when he came out with like the DVD and he had like all the videos for like every song. But that was never done before, really. Like he really
Yes, he did.
um no,
Yeah, Ice-T did that for OG.
I actually did that.
Yeah, he had a
Oh,
video for every song.
I never seen. I never seen. But he had like another edition for that album.
He literally had like a home video release of that album.
Oh, home video. But see, 50
Yeah,
re-released the album with the DVD, and it's like a black cover, and
it's
I
a
need to
decent
get that
one.
version. That's the version I want. You know what I'm saying? But this was definitely another classic to me. Like when you had joints like This Is 50 and the Rada music joint produced by High Tech and um what's the other joint? Ski Mask Way, and yeah, like so many bangers on here, like After Another, In My Hood, I'm Supposed to Die Tonight. Like, all of those joints to me were like classic. They were playing those on mixtapes, and Candy Shop was a joint just a little bit Out of Control. I love the remix with Mobb Deep. Phenomenal album. The production was great. I think it's a 5 classic.
Yeah, that album grew on me in recent years. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Uh,
So grateful. I'm so grateful I got a copy of that album too.
yeah,
Um, my next album, my number 7 is Lil Wayne, The Carter 2. This is a very dope album. It's either this one or The Carter 3 as my favorite Lil Wayne album, honestly.
right.
This one actually had this song a lot of songs actually made me a Wayne fan, like Shooter with
Hmm.
Robin Thicke, Hustler Music. That was my joint. Lock and Low with Corrupt and shit. Money in My Mind. Best Rapper Alive was dope and shit. Yeah, man, this whole fucking album was definitely Wayne. Lyrically, probably Wayne at his best lyrically.
Yeah,
I felt like artistically Carter 3 gets the hold and shit like that, but this was when Wayne was just on fire and stuff like that too.
definitely.
Hustler Music to this day, I mean, I love that joint.
Yes.
I need to get my hands on this album, slipping.
Yeah. They're definitely. I don't got no Weezy albums. Um. Yeah. Number 7 for me is Sean Price and Monkey Boys. Love this album. The production from Ninth Wonder and Crisis, and you got Moss and Rudy Rocks. Ayatollah did some stuff. Aguilar. You know. What's the Onion Head with Tech. That was one of my favorites. That was a single. Heartburn produced by Ninth Wonder. Love that joint. That might be my favorite song on here. Shakedown, with the Rain, Wonder, and Steel. Was that I like the part. He's a part in the song. He says he said what do you say he said something about a chick taking a Metro card home. He was like here's $2, and he said something about here's $2. Fucking me, that even feel some shit like that. But that collab with him and Rain and Steel was great. And then Boom Baye, and yeah, this is definitely a classic album, man. I love the album cover as well. Yeah.
Definitely. Your sound is kind of fucking up.
I'm having like static in my headphones.
Yeah, also link
Hold on,
about that.
let me come back. I'm having like
All right,
static
I'll wait.
right now.
Yo, can you hear me? I can't hear you now.
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
But yeah, so
Yeah, number
where we at
number
right now?
6.
Cause you said you talked about monkey bars, right?
Yes, that was 7 for me.
Hold on. Yeah, my number 6 is the game with the documentary album.
Okay.
Very, very, very dope album. This is a classic to many people. This gave G Unit like its whole West Coast feel and shit like that. Cause the game definitely made a name for himself, appearing on like a lot of mixtapes and shit too. And yeah, this album came out and it was just monster hit. About the West Coast back after like, I mean, it's not like the West Coast was going downhill. It was just like it wasn't commercially as successful as it was like in the mid '90s and shit too.
Right.
I mean, you had songs like West Side Story, Hate It or Love It. One of my all-time favorite songs Game did.
Hmm.
No More Fun and Games. Start from scratch. That's dope. Like Father Like Son. Love that beat from Buckwater and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I need some game albums. I don't have no game albums and
You don't
shit
got
too. 'Cause I know
documentary?
you said what?
You don't got documentary?
Nope.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I need to get some. No, I don't. Hold on. Nah, I don't have no game albums.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, that's my number 6.
All right, number 6 for me is Beanie Siegel, The Becoming classic album. To me, his last great album. Um, every joint on here was a banger. Feel It in the Air, produced by the late great Heavy D. Rest in peace to him. You had I Can't Go On This Way with Freeway and Young Chris. You had One Shot Deal, one of my favorites, featuring Redman. The beat is so hard. Gotta Have It with PD and Twister. This was when Twister was on the rock, and Purple Rain with Bun B. Bread and Butter with Sadat X and Grand Puba from Grand Nubian. Flatline. Every joint on here was a banger. Even the bonus tracks you got It's On with Jay Z. That was on a lot of mixtapes at that time. And the Wanted on the Run remix with Cameron. Five Mic Classic. One of the best albums. It easily could have. I don't know if it could have cracked the top 5 because I think there's other albums that's stronger, but this is one of the best rap albums of '05. Definitely. Five Mic Classic.
Yeah, definitely. All right. My number 5 is Young Jeezy with that Thug Motivation 101. This is a very dope album and shit like that too. You know, um, it's his major label debut,
Mm,
but it's actually his like third album overall and shit too.
right.
And this one he was on the Def Jam South. And yeah, this album, a lot of people kind of said that this was like one of the most influential trap albums and shit like that too. Which I kind of have to agree and stuff like that. Shit that a lot of these motherfuckers doing then now. Jeezy was already talking about this shit earlier and stuff like that. Soul Survivor with Akon, I love that shit. Go Crazy with Jay Z was dope. Standing Ovation, I love that. Trap or Die. Yeah, this might be actually my favorite Jeezy album. Like his first three are actually my favorite, but I felt like this one was just a fucking classic in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely one of. Well, I wasn't a Jeezy fan like that. I know like people that they love Jeezy, and I was like, he was like one of their favorites back then. But I never I try to listen to him. I'm like I can't get into this dude. you know. Number 5 for me is Carter 2, one of the best. A lot of people I've heard like say this is the best one of the Carter series, and this is fire.
Mm.
Mob. A lot of people feel like that. Like to me, I think Carter 3 was the best one, but a lot of people prefer Carter 2 over Part 3. But it was great. The Mob, produced by the Heatmakers, that was a great song, and Money on My Mind. Um, Best Rapper Alive, that was dope. The Grown Man joint with Currency. I think that was the first time I heard about Currency was on this album. Hustler Music, the Shooter joint with Robin Thicke. I heard that on a lot of mixtapes. This was a great album. I still prefer Carter 3 over this one. But it would be Carter 3 and then Carter 2 and then Carter 1 and then Carter 4. I think Carter 4 was dope, but it had some misses on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
But
did not
this,
like hardcore.
yeah, but Carter 5, I liked some songs, but not everything. But I think this is definitely one of the best ones in the series, though. You know what I'm saying? So,
Definitely. Number four is Little Brother with the Minstrel Show. One of the all-time greatest like albums of that decade and shit like that. Ninth Wonder, Fontaine, Big Pooh. This album to me definitely was an album that was kind of ahead of its time. It was kind of like reminiscent of like a lot, like conceptually reminiscent on like a lot of like De La Soul and
right.
stuff for that. But the way they used the Minstrel Show, they used it as a concept because they had this television network called UBN, which is of course a parody of UPN, and pretty much just like satirizing um like the African American culture at its time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because BET, for one, it was actually some controversy with both BET and the Source because this album was so critically acclaimed, but it only got like four mics on the Source originally. But they also got criticized that year too because they gave Lil Kim then they could choose five mics because it was this
Really?
album that got four mics and Jeezy's Thug Motivation got four mics as well
How?
too. Which
How does that happen?
for real it should have been five mics, man. For real.
Oh, Lord. Oh, for Mitchell
I
Show or
mean,
for Jeezy?
both.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I said
crazy.
it.
Little
Yeah, I said
Kim,
it.
she was already done. I don't know how they gave her 5 mics for that.
Yeah, because it was rumored that Benzino was fucking Lil Kim on the low
I think
and
so.
shit,
Something was
but
going on.
we'll talk about that another day. And also BET, they didn't want to play their video for Loving It because they said it was quote unquote too intelligent for their audience and stuff like that too.
Too
And
intelligent.
that
Wow.
same year, De La Soul had a song for the grind. I think it was called like Shopping Bags. And
Right.
BT said the same shit. They felt like De La Soul's music wouldn't appeal to their demographic and shit like that, which
They
fucking
crazy.
stupid, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But back to the music that like this song, I've had dope songs like Beautiful Morning, Slow It Down. I love that track, Loving It, All For You, Cheating, and shit like that too. This is actually one of my first hip hop albums I've actually got in my collection.
Hmm.
I want to get the listening, but listening is so expensive to this day.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't. If I don't ever get it, then it's not a big deal. You know.
Right.
Number 4 for me is Ye with late registration. This album, when I first heard it, I thought it was good. I didn't. This is another album again. A lot of people feel like this is his best album or one of his best, and I'm like this was dope. It had some drinks. Is I still don't feel like it's on the same level as College Dropout or My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and Graduation, but it's definitely a banging album. Heard him say with Adam Levine. That was like that's probably like my favorite song on here. We Major with Nas. Drive Slow, like I mentioned, with Paul Wall and GLC was on that. Diamonds from Sierra Leone. Touch the Sky. That was a big hit. You know, Gold Digger, of course. I got tired of that, but it's definitely a great, a solid album. I don't know. It's just never. I don't ever felt like it was a classic like that. I never felt like it was on the same level as his other albums, but it's definitely a lot of great tracks in it. The one track I didn't really care for was the Brandy track. I didn't really care for that one, that collab with him and Brandy, but
Oh
that
wow.
Cam is on this joint as well, and this is definitely a solid album. Definitely solid. In fact, I mean, if we ever did a ranking, we did a ranking for this, right? For Kanye's albums.
Yeah, we did break down. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot where I ranked this, but it's like to me it's after college dropout, and I like 808s more than this too. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
I don't know. It'd probably be like number 5 or 6 on my ranking. I count my Yayo ranking, but it's definitely a solid album. It's not a whack album at all.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Um, my number three is Beanie Siegel with The Becoming. Man, Rockefeller was just on fire this year, in my opinion. Like,
Yes.
this album came out, of course, when Beanie was incarcerated and shit like that. In my opinion, his best album, in my opinion, definitely a classic album. This is known for songs like "Feel It in the Air," which, in my opinion, Heavy D's best beat. In my opinion, "Purple Rain" with Bun B, "Bread and Butter" with Grand Puba and Sadat X. If I had to pick a little gripe, it might have been like a lot of guest appearances, but they all delivered and shit. They even had Jay-Z making a post retirement appearance on its own and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this album to me was his last great album. I didn't care too much for the Solution after this.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. That's like the only album from him I don't care for. It is the first three were great to me. Number 3 for me is the Game documentary, one of the best rap debut albums to me in a long time, and the production and a lot of different producers on this album, and the features. He picked the right singles, How We Do with 50 Cent was a great jumping off point for this album. And Dreams, love that joint, produced by Kanye. Of course, Hated or Love It, again with 50 Cent. And it's amazing that 50 supposedly like he gave a lot of his tracks that he worked on for to Game for this album.
Yep.
That's crazy, but he gave Game a classic album. Yeah, I remember when 50 was beefing with Game, and he kept saying that he's gonna eat off of him for a long time because he made money off of Game. And Game didn't want to hear that, and it's definitely a great album. Running, produced by High Tech, and a Yayo feature that I actually like. He was on that. I remember being at I think it was the Virgin Megastore when this album came out, and when it came out, I went to get it, and they were playing the Running joint on the loudspeakers. I'm like, yo, this joint is fire. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a great album. Like to me, it's still his best album. I know people love LAX and what's the other shit? Doctor's Advocate. There's a lot of people that love those, but I think this to me is his best one.
Yeah, definitely. Album number two is Common with B. This album to me definitely, excuse me, was a nice strong comeback with Common. I like the Electrical Circus album. Not a lot of people did like it.
Right.
He got Kanye, he got Dilla and shit
Mm-hmm.
like that. No ID and shit like that. But hey, definitely had some of his strongest material like Go, Love Is, Real People and shit like that. The intro to B is one of my favorite hip hop intros of all time. The Corner, the Food Live and shit like that, where they perform that live on Chappelle's show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I seen somebody post that up today actually.
Oh wow.
I don't know why, but they posted it today.
I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic song and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And this is like when Kanye was killing it in the game too and shit.
Yes.
So yeah, this is a very strong album. I love it.
Number 2 for me is Little Brother, The Minstrel Show. Great album, one of the best of the 2000s, top 5 for me of that whole decade, and I think this is their best album, better than the Listening. I think Listening was one of those albums where a lot of posers was posting that shit up and making it great. I'm like, I've heard the Listening. It's not that great. It was some joints that was good, but I don't think nothing on there is beating this album. Like everything on here was fire. I love the skits, and it took me back to when De La Soul did 3 Feet High and Rising, and they interweaved the skits with the songs, and I loved it. I think the sequencing was perfect. The songs were great. They didn't have a shitload of features. Ninth Wonder, one of his best produced albums. Joints like Beautiful Morning was fire. Cheating, one of my favorites. Not Enough, love that song. Sincerely Yours, loving it. That was the first single with Joe Scudder, and another underrated MC that nobody mentions, Joe Scudder. I remember hearing a Joe Scudder mixtape. I think it was called Not Your Average Joe. That was like '09, 2010, and he killed it. And I haven't heard nothing from him since then. But they're definitely a great album. This to me is what put Little Brother on the map. It was this album, and then they went off and Fonte was doing his solo stuff with Nicolay, with Foreign Exchange, and Rapper Pooh was doing his solo stuff. But definitely a 5 mic classic to me.
Yeah, and it's crazy how you said that about the listening, because I actually like the listening, but I would never
Yeah,
put it on the same level as the minstrel show.
it was good, but I'm like, the way people was acting was like, this is like the way that they acted with Below the Heavens. It was like that, like it's the next coming of Illmatic. I'm like, it's not. It was a dope album, but I don't think any song on listening is touching the Minstrel Show.
Understandable. All right. My number one is Kanye with Late Registration. It's actually my favorite Kanye album and stuff like that. With this album, he definitely mastered his sound and shit, because College Dropout was already like a hip hop, classic,
Mm.
already a good album, but people didn't think he can do it again. Then 1 year later, he came out with this fucking masterpiece and shit like that. Excuse me. Songs like Heard Him Say, Gold Digger was very dope. I love those. I loved We Major, Diamonds from Co. Leone. You know what I'm saying? Roses was pretty good. Crack music. There was
I
a bit
actually
too
forgot
many.
about Roses.
Yeah, there was a bit too many fake Bernie Mac skits and stuff like that. I
Mm.
could have done without those, but all in all, this is the hip hop classic in my opinion. Like, say what you want to say about Kanye, but this album to me definitely solidified him.
Number one for me is Common with B, the last great Common album in my opinion. The a 5 mic classic. Just when you thought he could get no better than Like Water for Chocolate, he hit us with B. 11 phenomenal joints from Kanye West and Dilla, because Dilla did produce Love Is, which is one of my favorites on here. Testify, The Corner, They Say with John Legend. Um, yeah, this whole album, I love this album. It was short, it was straight to the point, no skits, not too many features, just Common destroying track after track. I'm like, yo, I need this Common back. I would like for Common to drop like a 10, 11 track album again. With I don't know if I would use Ye this time, because Ye's production is not the same. But Apollo Brown to me would be a great fit for him, or so somebody along those lines, and I think he would give us another classic. But this is definitely my one of my favorites of the whole decade. Like this and Little Brother, I think they had the two best rap albums of the whole 2000s. You know what I'm saying? And it was definitely a masterpiece.
Definitely, yeah. That's a very dope pick for
Hmm.
favorite album 45. So I have a few honorable mentions. I don't have too many, but
Right.
I think I have a good three. So of course I got 50 Cent with the Massacre. Excuse me. Um, very, very, very dope album and shit like that. I'm not gonna lie, the singles were weak. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't care for Out of Control, Disconferno, Candy Shell I can vibe with once in the room, but I felt like the real heat was like in the fucking albums, like of course Gatman and Robin with Eminem, Guns Come Out, Baltimore Love Thing, You know what I'm saying? I feel like the real key was with that and shit like that too. So definitely a very fire album and stuff. My other honorable mention, I'm literally just scrolling down the list of 2005 albums. So
Mm-hmm.
uh AZ's AWOL. That's another honorable mention and shit.
That was good.
Very, very dope album and stuff like that, you know. Very underrated when it comes to his 2000 discography, but it's AZ, so what do you expect? So this is when he had his own label, Quiet Money, and stuff like that. He had dope songs like Magic Hour with CL Smooth was dope. AZ's Chillin' to the City of Gods. Yeah, definitely I gotta be listening to that one and stuff. So, and my last honorable mention is 3 6 Mafia, Most Known Unknown. My honest opinion, the last great 3 6 Mafia album, in my honest opinion,
That was
because
good.
it's like with each album, members was just leaving left and right. And this
Mm-hmm.
was the last album I think with Crunchy Black and shit like that. You know, shout out to Culturist Theory. They did a dope breakdown about the best, the worst, the best 3 6 Mafia albums, and they ranked the album from 2000 as the best album, which I'm not mad about that, but I'm more for Mystic Styles, motherfucker. So,
Right.
but most known unknown, this is actually the album that made me a fan, like popping my collar. To this day, my favorite 3 6 Mafia song. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. When I pull up at the club, stay fly,
Stay Fly was dope.
side to side, and shit like that. Don't Chuck Get Mad. I mean, it's a very dope album
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. You know, you had them, working with a lot more like rappers popping at that time, like Slim Thug, Mike Jones, and so on and so on. Yeah, man. Oh, I forgot. Lord Infamous left like around this time. So I think it was during like the Unbreakables album or the Choices 2 album. It's like they always have members leave. I love 3 6 Mafia, but it's like every member leaves each album and
Like
shit.
like Bone Thugs.
Right. But at least Bone Thugs still together and shit. 3 6 just
Yeah.
got Paul and Juicy and shit.
Right.
They're too busy throwing bottles at one another and shit. Let me stop.
That's all your honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Well, I also got 3 6 Mafia. I got Slim Thug, his major label debut with already platinum, and I love this. I think I haven't heard all of Slim Thug's albums, but this one is to me his best. Um, you got productions by the Neptunes and Sha Money Excel, Jazzy Faye, Cool and Dre, Michael 5000 Watts, Mr. Lee. This was big up here. Like they were bumping Slim Thug up here at that point when he came out with Like a Boss, and I ain't heard of that, and Three Kings with Ti and Bun B. That was my joint. Love that horn sample. Dan 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 dan. Dan. That's my joint. I love that joint. Boys in Blue with Killer Calione and Sir Daly, PJ and Chris Ward. Just a banger. Definitely a great Slim Thug album. And this is like the time when I just started listening to him. I started seeing him like a lot on like the come up DVDs and stuff like that. Um, what else I got? Like you mentioned, 3 6 Mafia. I mean, yeah, 3 6 Mafia with the most unknown, a solid album. I hear nobody mention this album. This had some bangers, man. I love that joint they did with Remy Ma. Pussy Got You Hooked. And the chorus, this pussy got you hooked, pussy got you hooked. Hell no. Love that joint. Remy killed it over that violin arrangements and the bass line and the beat was fire. Half on the sack. The joint with Project Pat, knock the black off your ass. Love the chorus. It ain't no bitch in my blood, nigga. It's nothing but thug. I knock the black off your ass. Love that joint. The 808s on that was fire. The melody. Um, Swerving featuring Mike Jones and Paul Wall. I was banging Stay Fly with Young Buck and April and MJG. They were bumping that up here heavy. That was a big hit. Definitely a solid album. I love 3 6 Mafia's stuff anyways. I think this album was definitely slept on for whatever reason, and it's definitely a banging album. It should have made my top 10. Um, Smith and Wesson Reloaded. That album with you had production from the Beat Miners and Rock Raider, Coptic. You know, they had some joints on here. Gun Rap was solid. Love the mic play with them on that joint. Sikkim Sun, My Tims Do Work. You Understand Me with Tony Touch and Rain. That was one of my favorites. A Hustler's Prayer. It had like a dancehall reggae type of vibe to it. Nice beat and bass line. We Came Up with Talib Kweli, produced by the Beat Miners. Was fire. Definitely slept on Smith Wesson album. Um, Buckshot and Ninth Wonder, the Chemistry album. Very solid. Chemistry 101, Side Talk was banging. Birds Fly the Coop with Fonte and Keisha Chantel, and they talking about, relationships and cutting off the birds for a wifey, and that was a banger. Definitely enjoyed that album. Bun Beach, the Trill album, definitely to me his best solo album. Pete Rock, the Surviving Elements, that was like joints from leftover joints from Soul Survivor 2. That was fire. The Danger Doom album, like you mentioned, rest in peace MF Doom, MF Doom and Danger Mouse. Soulful King was a huge hit up here. I remember when that dropped, and they were playing that on college radio stations. And yeah, these are just like some of my honorable mentions. And a lot of these albums were banging, So
All right. And all in all, that was a dope list.
yeah,
I know I gotta do some editing on this video and stuff like that. So I'll probably drop this on Friday or Saturday. But I already know that I do plan, in case y'all watching, well, it's gonna be days past when I drop this. The whole Clifton Powell video and stuff like that too, which was on Thursday at 11 o'clock and stuff too. So just to get ready for that. Are you
I
gonna
got
be
I
on that
gotta
list?
find I gotta find like what is it, top five you said? I gotta find five that I actually like with him because I only remember him in like two movies, Menace to Society and Dead
It can be
President.
TV too.
Oh, TV.
TV, hell, video games too, because he was on GTA.
Oh, I
Oh
didn't
yeah,
know
you
that.
don't like GTA shit. I forgot.
I played it, but I didn't care for it though.
All you had to do was follow the train, CJ.
That map was annoying as fuck, yo. It was
It
hard to follow.
was.
You know what I'm saying? I think
It
that's what threw
was.
me
Oh
off when
my.
I was playing like San Andreas and shit. I'm like, yo, this shit is annoying.
That's why I love video games back in the day. It was actually a challenge. Now these video games now are easy as fuck.
It's still a challenge depending. I mean, Call of Duty to me is. I mean, well, I'm so
Fuck
used
Call
to
of
Call
Duty.
of Duty now. It's not even a challenge no more.
Fuck Call
But
of
I
Duty.
mean,
That shit.
it'd be like one or two levels where it is challenging. But depending on the game, it's like, yo, yeah, you right. Especially back in the day when we didn't have no save system, like it was challenging as fuck. You have to like start
Yeah.
over Mario Brothers like 50 times to get to the next level.
Mario.
Yo,
Don't even get me Mario World, man.
oh Lord, that was
Don't even get me
crazy.
started on that shit. Don't even get me
That was
started.
crazy. Yo,
But yeah, I think my next list I'll probably do is. Hmm, we already did a lot of 2000s.
yeah. We didn't
Let's
do
go with
2010 though.
1989.
89, okay.
Yeah, let's go with 89.
89, okay.
Well, I thought we did 2010s already. Did we?
We did? Nah, we did some in the 90s and the 2000s.
Hold on, right quick. Let me see what's hip hop albums came out 20 teens. I know if we do like between '09 and 2012,
Hmm.
that might be top five for me, honestly.
Really? Top five? Those are some of the best years for you?
No, I mean like literally
Oh,
like top five albums because I can't find a lot of
oh.
good shit in those years. That
Oh shit.
let me see. Hell, 2010. Oh, I'm looking at some 2010 albums. I'm just like, I don't. I want to call half of this shit's the best of the year, honestly.
Yo.
You
You're
know
right.
what?
It is. It's some gems, but there was a lot of trash out of that time too.
Yeah, let's do top five 2010.
Top five 2010s.
Yeah,
So
before we go to eight.
for the whole decade?
No, 20 the year
Oh,
2010.
just 2010. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's gonna be if I have more honorable mentions, then
Right.
fuck it. But those years from 2009 to 2011, 12
Mm.
ish Well, okay, 2011 at least. 'Cause 12 had Kendrick, Good Kid, Mad City and shit. But
Right. 20,
ugh,
2010 has some joints, but I see some trash in here too though.
yeah,
I'm like, what the fuck?
B.O.B. These niggas say B.O.B.
Hey,
is
I,
hip hop.
hey, I,
Okay,
I love that B.O.B. album, but that's his only
okay.
good album. And I have the second one, but the second one is not good. He tried to go too commercial with that album.
I mean, he was always trying to go to
Right.
commercial in
I
the
mean
first
it,
place.
but this nigga like stepped it up. Like he had like Christina Aguilera on his second album. You
Yeah, I mean,
know what I'm saying?
not for. I love Christina, but
Not for
B.O.B. and
him though.
Christina.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
not for
like the production was off. It was too pop, and even for me because I love pop music, but for him it's like he went from getting his Grammy for the first album, and he said, okay, I'm gonna go pop with the second one, and it just sounded bad.
That's what they do. That's what they fucking do and shit.
Yeah, there's
But
some
yeah,
joints, and I see some trash on here.
yeah, man.
So we doing top five for just 2010.
Yeah, hell, if you want to do it tomorrow, we can do it tomorrow.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, cause I think I already know what I'm gonna pick and shit. Honestly.
Yeah, that's not gonna be hard.
Yeah, and I'm gonna edit this video tomorrow as well too.
Okay.
All right, but other than that, this was fun as fuck.
Yes.
Thursday, see you tomorrow for the Clifton Power top five and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.